Instructional needs analysis, training needs analysis, gap analysis, or performance analysis, instructional and training needs assessment, or gap assessment. These terms and others are often incorrectly used synonymously with needs assessment. While these items are not synonymous with needs assessment, they are actually instead tools of the needs assessment process. Before discussing this project, let's establish an understanding of needs assessment. Needs assessment is a systematic process for identifying and addressing needs or gaps between a current situation or condition and a desired situation or condition. In other words, how you want things to be. Needs assessment is the overview of a situation, the big picture, the view from 30,000 feet. Needs assessment is not addressing the gaps, but simply identifying them. Needs assessment focuses on the mega, macro, and micro needs of an organization. In other words, not only on a particular entity, your client, but on that organization's relationship with society. That's the mega level. Its internal or business needs, that's the macro level. And the individuals of which the company is composed, that's the micro level. So during or after the needs assessment, these tools make up your instructional designer or needs assessor toolkit. Let's discuss this project. This particular project was an instructional needs analysis for a national nonprofit professional association. This association recently decided to change its approach to certification exams. For decades, skills tests have been offered on-site in multiple locations around the country 3 times a year with on-site proctors. The new approach will be online, on demand, and remotely proctored. The instructional needs analysis was conducted to determine what training and non-training interventions might best assist the association and its stakeholders through this transition. The stakeholders for this particular instructional needs analysis were the association's testing department staff, the testing candidates themselves, the qualified graders, and the online proctors. Data was gathered via interviews with the director of the association's testing department, key personnel from the company developing the online testing platform, and employees of the online proctoring company. A web-based survey was also completed by a group of testing candidates who recently participated in beta testing of the online skills testing process. And finally, extant data was reviewed. This data included emails received from qualified graders and testing candidates following the beta testing, from the association's testing department processes and candidate communications, and social media and listserv postings by association members. There were a number of lessons learned during this process. First and foremost, know your audience. Learn as much as you can about your client before your first meeting and during your time together. Good and ongoing communication with your client is critical. Your needs assessment is not the only task on their plate, so keep them engaged as much as possible to remain focused. Start early. Even with a cooperative client, data gathering is time-consuming and requires the cooperation of many. Make absolutely no assumptions about anything, what performance issues you think may exist, what you believe the client may want or be leaning towards, or how the client will react to your recommendations. Don't enter a client meeting with any preconceived notions about their interest in or response to the data collected. Be sure the delivery tools you choose for your meetings apply to your audience. If they prefer PowerPoint, then use PowerPoint. If you find flip charts are commonly used in their in-house meetings, stick with flip charts. And be sure to ask questions. And remember, the quality of your questions is more important than the quantity. As Bruce Lee once said, A wise man can learn more from a foolish question than a fool can learn from a wise answer. Once you've asked the questions, take the time to listen to the responses. After all, what's the point of asking a question if you're not going to listen to the answer? After gathering your information, analyze and synthesize the data. If you asked the right questions, the data will lead you where you need to go. And finally, always maintain your integrity. Just because a client believes training is the only answer doesn't mean you have to agree. Stand your ground, share the data, and make your case for the assets that best suit your client's needs.